Hello and welcome to Wikipedia Weekly Network here, where Albin Larsson and I, Jan Ainali, are editing Wikidata Live. Hello Albin, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I have spent the last few hours, ever since I did a little bit of research for this episode, I've been like trying not to make the edits I have seen. Because when you do that research, you're like, I so want to edit. And you go there and be like, no, I'm going to edit during the episode. I'm going to leave this
Yes,
so I have something to edit. And how
yes,
are
it's
you,
so
Jan?
easy. I'm the same. I started doing the research yesterday and sort of like, oh, I can make this very quickly. Well, wait, no, then I don't have anything to show tomorrow. And we're back now because it's the Open Data Week or days. Open Knowledge Foundation extended the Open Data Day to cover from, was it from last Saturday to next Friday?
Yes.
So, and we're sort of almost in the middle then.
Yeah.
And there's lots of events going on. So if you want to check it out, go to is it opendataday.org?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes. So we're thinking a little bit about, well, what's appropriate to do on the Open Data Day to edit. So what have you in mind?
I'm gonna make a query for like government agencies with data portal, not just to see and edit those, but also to see, okay, what is the general pattern here, and are there gaps that we can work on? And you?
I'm gonna do sort of more narrowed in a rabbit hole. I know there's a good open data portal or data source, and I'm gonna compare some things there to what we have in Wikidata and see if we can do something complete, sort of like, oh, because I think we have sort of like half the data set. So maybe do you want to show the first yours, perhaps? Can I remove mine? There we have it,
Yeah.
the Open Data Day website.
Indeed. And I also want to say, like, if you have comments, if you post them on YouTube or the author channels, we will be able to see them, pick them up, and even display them on screen. So in case you have questions, use that.
Yes, and I'm not sure if my PeerTube instance is working really well with the comments. I did a test stream during the weekend, and I couldn't see the comments myself, if there were any. It's just eternal circle of waiting for the chat. So maybe we won't see it there, but on the other platforms, we should be able to see it. Let's see then. But I was thinking to start from the Wiki Project Gov directory as a base, because I know that the Dutch has a really great portal. So, and in many of these countries, we have listed a couple of useful links here. So that's one of the first thing we encourage people to do is just drop the links. So if someone comes by, they know what they can do. So, and here we have one. So that's where I'm going to start today. Wait, yeah.
Do we want to say a few words about what Gov directory is, Jan?
Yes, maybe we want to start in that end, because it was some time since we were here. So it's sort of like a two-phase sort of project. We have one that is purely on Wikidata, where we aim to collect all governmental organizations or public organizations. We're a little bit loose on the definition, and we want to be inclusive for what people feel is a public organization in their country and context. But we want to get them in all on Wikidata because we think they're all are notable. And then maybe you want to talk about the second step.
Sure. We have this webpage then that displays all of this information, like in a way that's useful for humans, believe it or not. That is a way to contact your government. It connects all of these contact points and social media, which means people can actually reach out and make freedom of information requests or all kinds of stuff.
Exactly. So that's the project in a nutshell, and we have a like very classic Wikidata project page where we have you can discuss, we have events, we have some queries trying to explain the data model, but also to be a little bit helpful for people visiting the website if they find something that is not correct because the world changes and Wikidata might not be up to date all the time. We put a link into the error report so someone can come in and just drop a thing here, even without knowing how to edit Wikidata. So they get a link in there. So that's the Gov directory. But then, of course, then we want to be complete on all the things. So I was looking around here on the Dutch page and saw we have a couple of types, and we usually say it's helpful to start with a group of similar things and try to add them at a time. Because if you try to go for everything, it's too big of a task, and you have too much to try to get coherent. So that was what. Yeah.
To exemplify Sweden, we have like it is complete. I think the only country that is complete by any sense, and it's 800 government agencies. But some countries like Germany got tens of thousands.
Yes. So it's going to be a lot there. So what I was doing here, well, we have a couple of them, but there's also some here that we don't have. So I was thinking, well, this is the Inspectius. I think they were like, well, this is not too many, and we probably have a couple of them already on Wikidata. So I was thinking about see if we can first query Wikidata to see, do we have these? Or how many do we have and which are we missing? And since we have the authoritative list here, we know what the result's going to be. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 is our end goal. So that's where we're going to want to go. So I'm just going to pick one of these, and I'm not sure if this is even the one I picked last time. So we'll see. Just well, we got the hit here at least. So we get the Dutch Healthcare Inspectorate, and we see that they have an instance of inspectorates. So I think that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to try to make a query for all of those in Wikidata. So here I am at the query service, querywikidata.org, and let's see what we can find. And if you've seen this before, you know I usually start with SEL and then I press Control Space to get this autocomplete thing. And for this, I think I'm gonna go with this one. That's where I usually start as well. This gives
Great for
me,
the labels.
yes, we need to see what it is. And I think even here, it's gonna help us a lot if we get the Dutch labels, because that's the list we have over here. So that's what we're gonna need to compare to. And then we go for the item, and it need to be an instance of, and then if you didn't see, I was very quick using Albin's here to copy the QID. This is a little gadget, otherwise you can just copy it from here or up here and go over here. Or you could write inspectorate, but now I know I get exactly that. So I know I'm gonna get at least one hit because I've seen it, but I don't know how many yet. So let's see what we get. 18, that's even too many. So that's interesting. Naval artillery. That doesn't seem like anything we had over here, right? Let's have a look at that one. Is this the right kind?
Is it even Dutch? No.
Oh, no, this is... All right, so we have other countries as well. So we might need to narrow down. So we'll go with the country here.
Does the inspectorate item say specify country?
No, it's
No, okay.
generic.
It's generic.
Yes, so that could be correct then. But then we want to go with the Netherlands here. And here we have this weird thing where we have two items for the Netherlands and the Kingdom of the Netherlands. And I think actually I've seen one with one of each. So I'm going to remember Q55 and Q29999, and I'm going to put that as a parameter. So I'm just going to say country here, and then I'll do a values over here and list them both. And can I remember now? Q55 was the easy one, and then was it 5 nines?
Good question. Let's
we're gonna
try
see.
it.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I think I can hover. Yes. All right.
That's cheating.
That's cheating. Yeah, well, that's the tools we have available. That's very good. All right, let's see. We have 18, so we're probably gonna get at least one fewer. How many fewer? 9. All right, but this looks also a little bit better. A lot of these started with inspectie, and then we have Kapper Nederlandse. This one we don't see. So what's going on over there? Aha, it's one that has stopped. And this is, I hover over here to see the property number. We can say dissolved. So we want to remove those from the query. All the ones that are dissolved. So we'll do a minus. And the item dissolved. Need a T there for it to understand that it should autocomplete on the dissolve date. And it doesn't matter which, and then you can write with this just brackets. So let's see. 2 fewer. But now I think, we could also sort these. So we can order, were these in alphabetical order? Yes, I think they are. That's very good. Order by item label. So now we have 7 here. And let's see, Gesund, that one we have. Justitie, that one we have. Overheids and Erfgoed. Erfgoed. Yes. Defense. Yes. Van het onderwijs. That one is not in here. No. I can even zoom in here so you also can see. No, it is here. It's just, oh, that's interesting. We're sorting differently. And Netherlands are a bit, I think I saw that one. Yes, all right. So now we have 7 here that we want to find, and we're missing 8. So now we can check, well, are they already in Wikidata, but just not modeled in the similar way? Before we go, yes, here we find something. Let's see, all entered. Was that the same?
That's interesting. It says non-governmental, I think, in the description.
Quasi-autonomous non-governmental organization. Yes. But it's clearly have the governmental logo.
Yeah, the logo is very much government indeed.
Yes. This is another... it says it's in English here, but this is not English. I think it's independent administration or something like that. But this is clearly Dutch. And we have it in Dutch. So I think I'm going to remove this from the English label because that just seems wrong. Even though I don't know what to add instead. But I'm going to go here and I'm going to add the inspectorate on it. So that's 1. So when we run this query next time, hopefully we're going to find 8. And then we'll check this one. Do we have that one in Wikidata? We get something. Oh, here it's interesting. Here we seem to have a mix up of the position and the agency. Let's see
And
what
something else.
Yes. Dutch Inspector General. What was the... That's the exact... And the rank. Subclass of inspector. This one is tricky. So this
Are there
might...
articles connected to it?
let's see in the bottom. Yes, there's one in Dutch.
No.
Let's translate that one, see what it gives me.
It says he is also.
Yes, so the question here, is this like a one-man organization? Like some of the Swedish ombudsman is?
Yeah. And if it is, would you still model them as like one position?
No. So then either way, I think they should be teased apart, so
Right.
that we have one, and then that's probably the head of the organization as well. So one is the position, one is the agency. But I don't know which one this article about is, if it's about both or one. And I think we need a Dutch person to tweeze that out. But I'm thinking that for now, government agency is generic and the inspectorate is more specific. So we can at least change those and get a little bit closer. It might still need to be taken apart to split to 2 items later. Let's do that at least. That seems like because then when we do take them apart, we will get the right. And now that will also make it show in our query, even though it won't be perfect. But that's a later to do, I think. So let's see. We have 7. Do we have 8 now? 9. Oh, that was quick. It's seconds to now, right now. So what's the next one? Belastingen. We don't have that one here, all right? So we'll copy this. And we'll go up over here. Ooh, no hit. That's very interesting. Nothing at all. If I remove something then. No. And if I search on Dutch Wikipedia, will it show up in some other article? Like a list or something? It's mentioned in the inspector. Yeah, here it's red linked. All right.
Yeah,
so that's
but the
probably
person holding it is there.
Yes.
That was the order hit you got, yeah.
Yes. But that's good. Then we know the article hasn't been created on Wikipedia and it doesn't exist here. So this one we could actually create. So let's see. I'll go back one step where I had a full. And then I'll create a new item. And I'll... Oh, now how do I want to do this? I want to put a description, but I want to put the description in Dutch. But then I need a good description in Dutch. Let's see, did we have some on the other ones? In Dutch? Not the one, that one then. This one perhaps. Yes, this one we can use, because this one just says a government entity. So we'll borrow that over here. We'll say this is Dutch and create. And then we'll need to add a statement. We wanted an instance of inspectorate. Getting used a lot. We'll say we'll need to add a country here. And then we should put some source to, I guess, to this page. So we'll show the notability of it. So we can say here we also have a lot of good info. They do have a website. That's perfect. So we'll add that as well. I think we'll add a reference over here. Like that. And then we'll add the website for now, which we had over here. Copy that link. And that's going to be in Dutch. Let's just double check it as well, so we don't get one in English. No, it wants to translate it from Dutch. There we go. Very minimal for now. And I'll come back to that later as well. We can close this. And then we had this one. Leefomgeving, was that one in here? Yes. That one was there, that one was there, that one was there, that one. This one was not in there. So we'll go back over here, we search. It seems to be in here. Let's check all languages. Yes, very good. This is a different, what's this? Type of Kwango. This was the one we were just at. So Dutch government agency. This one I'm going to... No, I'm just going to add this one for now, because the Dutch says something. And then we'll figure this out later.
You're not going to remove the Dutch government agency?
Maybe I should, yes. I was thinking what specific is, since it was Dutch, but that's probably not.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I think this is good.
I am very fond of like country-specific type, like inspectorate. Yes. You would have Dutch inspectorate as a type. Yeah. Because they tend to be rather different in different jurisdictions.
Yeah. And then this one, I don't think we had either. So let's see. Let's double check. Yes, the same. And we'll do the same over here. Copy that one. Edit. And this is going... Did we have the... That one was not in here, right? No. Maybe not. So we can't find it on Wikidata. Let's go to Dutch Wikipedia and see. Probably mentioned somewhere. No. Does not seem to be mentioned. All right, so here it's actually a case where we might need a new one as well. Let's check for the... Started in 2010, it looks like. does have some sort of... it's not a lot of information. That might be... Do have a website. All right, so let's create that one too then. This one we're gonna keep. So we'll...
Does the website have any information
that's a
notable?
good question. There's probably gonna be a few things here. Yes.
Oh.
So we'll do the same here. We copy this, copy there. We'll say this is Dutch. And then we want to go with the instance of inspectorate. And we want to add country. And we want to add the official website. And this is in Dutch. And let's also add this one for the claim that it's... I should have done that before. There we go. And then we can close this one and this. State inspection for digital infrastructure. That could be new. Oh, there's something for it. Oh, and just missing the inspectorate. Yes, the does have the country there. Yes. Stated in grid. What do you think about this?
I would remove that reference and still add a more specific one.
Yeah, because this is often quite generic things.
Yeah,
it's not wrong. It's just
not. No. It's not that terrible. Jan, I must ask, what's the blue check mark?
This one?
Yes.
I think that's my language spelling thing.
Okay. So it's a browser thing.
That's a browser plugin.
It's not a fancy gadget I'm missing.
No.
Okay.
I've never seen it pop up in those fields though, so maybe there's some development going on. And now I think we only have one left. Is this about mining? We all also have that one, but not inspectorate. Do they have Netherlands? All right. So if I run the query, yeah,
it's really nice. You got a feel of work saying it's mining.
Yes, that's very good. So let's see. Do we get 15? Yay! We're just going to see if I remove one of these, do we still get 15? 14. So there's one having the wrong item. So let's see which one that one is, and we'll fix that. Or maybe that's not actually wrong, because it could be that the Inspector General for the war power, I don't know what's that translated to in English. What did we have it? The armed forces. Okay.
Exactly. It might be intentional.
That might be intentional, that it actually says Kingdom of the Netherlands. These are one of the quirks with some of these countries.
Former colonial powers.
Yeah, and Denmark can also have a couple of these, I guess.
Oh.
So this one we need to figure out with the query. But at least then we know that if we do the query with the 55 there, now we can produce this list that is similar to the official list. So that's very good. That's what I wanted to do today. I wasn't sure I was going to get all the way in this short time. Of course, I do have a lot of work making these better, adding the two items that I created, because they only have 3 statements. So I'll do a little bit of editing there while you're at it, Alvin.
No, no, I will look entirely unproductive because I don't have that type of goal of completing something.
Well,
Um,
that's the beauty. We get different flavors of the what you do, what we do.
Indeed. And I just before I start, I want to call out if you are interested in Go Directory, there are a bunch of like events. So there are 2 collaboration hours, one every
Yes.
Friday at 3 Central European time, and one 8 p.m. Thursdays Eastern time. So if you are in the US there or in the North Americas, there is a really nice time slot. And if you're in Europe, there is a okayish time slot, so to say.
Yeah, we have
Uh,
had a couple of North Americans joining those as well, like a
indeed,
morning editing.
indeed. And we tend to hang out at least one of them. Um, so it's a great place if you just have questions or want to get started with Go Directory in particular. That said, I'm gonna start off from government agencies, but I'm going a little bit meta today because it's Open Data Days. So I'm going for Open Data Portals. But I am gonna start Open Data Portals from government agencies. So I'm gonna start just by listing them and see what we got in here. Um, I start off my queries quite similar to what Jan does, but I do select distinct to ensure I never ever get any duplicates. I always also go with star for 2 reasons. My queries sometimes early on tend to be broken and then it's quite slow to fetch labels. I want it to fail fast. Um, and the other case is if I'm just exploring, I want all of my variables to be printed. It just makes it easier to debug things. Okay, but now I want all government agencies in the world. I'm not gonna limit myself in any way here. Instance of, and that's not gonna be enough. I also want, so for example, we have, if I say I want all government agencies, I won't get all what I'm looking for because as you could see in some of Jan example, there was also Dutch government agency. So I need to say that it either is instance of or subclass of somewhere in the tree. And I'm gonna turn this into a nice little property path saying that, hey, go down this path. And let's see. No, that's not what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Then let's do spelling correct here. Government agency, there we go. Then I do wanna see the country just for to get a little bit of an idea where the data come from. There we go. But then most of all, I want the open data portal, which I know is a property. There we go. I had really trouble earlier when I tried to find this because I kept writing open data as one word. I'm gonna do it like that, and we're gonna see something interesting here in the modeling as well. But I think this is good for now as a start. Let's see. There we go. Took a little bit of a while, but there we go. So what's really interesting here is that we can see we have the government agencies, obviously QIDs, the countries, also obviously items, but also the portals are not just links to a portal, they are actual items. Which of course is great because you can model a lot of information about it. But now when I know this query works, I'm gonna add some labels to it so we can actually see what's going on. And that looks great. I'm gonna type out my variables here. Item label, and I don't necessarily need a country, but I want a label. And finally, portal. There we go. Let's run this. As you can see, the label service makes everything a lot slower. I think it took almost 6 seconds before. And now it takes quite a bit longer. I'm actually surprised. And we didn't have a lot of results. But there we go. So let's use scan this. We got a lot of Sweden in here, actually in the top. I don't actually do any ordering here. But all the Swedish ones seems to have grouped in the top. No, we have some down here as well. Quite a bit of United States. We can make this a little bit easier to see if you sort on country here. Quite a bit of Germany. Lots and lots of Sweden. Lots and lots of United States. Okay. Let's actually have a look at some of this. If let's pick one. The National Library of France. That sounds fun. You can also see here that sometimes you see this well-known URI here instead of an item. That's essentially someone has recorded in Wikidata that we do not know the value or that there is no value. So in Wikidata, you can say that we know that there is not a value here, or we know that this is an unknown value. And people seem to model that when it comes to open data portals. But let's start with this one. This is the National Library. And I'm particularly interested in the open data portal and what data there might be about that one. There we go. Open data portal. BNFF authorities. That's interesting. That's oddly specific, so to say. But libraries tend to work with that, so it makes sense.
May I ask you a question? I got
Yes.
thoughtful myself. If you model it that they don't have it, should you put a point in time? So you, because they don't have it right now, but they might get one in the future. So you know, like, oh, they don't have it in 2020. I might go there look anyway because that was 6 years ago.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure I would keep it anyway afterwards because you could add a start date to the portal rather. And that's probably a lot more useful.
Yes.
So I almost, not always, but to some extent, consider them like a help to the editor rather than something else.
Yep.
There is a lot of data on there. And this is really odd. Subtitle, and then it's used open data portal in a lot and lots of languages. I'm not sure what the intent was here. And also the short name is just the short name of the agency, which might be fine. I imagine it shares it in this case, but this looks really odd. Subtitle, open data platform. Is it because it has a website and that's the subtitle or something like that?
Maybe it did once.
Maybe it did once, exactly. But still, did it have it in all of those languages? This looks really odd. It is interesting. It like tells us what software the data portal uses. It has a link to a SparkL endpoint. I don't think that's alive, but that's a different. This is also interesting. Copyright license, open license. Um, this would be the license of the portal itself, and open license. I guess that's not a license. It's more the.
Type.
It is the license. Um, and it is used by the French government for open data. But that is very different
Ah,
from the copyright license for the open data portal.
yes.
That are two completely different things. And I bet that
Yes.
this is for the data set. So this is
Mm-hmm.
also for monuments and not for any. And this goes to completely different data portal. Sorry, this statement's gonna go. Um, I hope there is an open license even for the data portal itself, but this is not related. Sorry.
Yeah.
Number of triples. It essentially means that this SparkL endpoint is kind of merged with the data portal, but it's one of those things that's completely fine here, I think. Main Wikidata property, that's also okay. What I think is really interesting in here is that there are like articles, and this one in particular, the English one, it just says identifier, as if the article is actually about this type of authority file identifier. So I want to look at some of this and you see what's going on here. Okay, so first this first of all redirected to the main article. Um, and it doesn't seem to. No, it doesn't have that section anymore. This actually seems to be about data portal. Um, did we have a start date or point in time? No, but we had something in the article there. Or is it Inception? Start time seems to be there. Want to go for 2011. I think it was a little bit more specific in French, but my French is completely useless, more or less. I'm not gonna attempt that myself. Um,
I can't help you either.
I would also like to do something about. Actually, I'm gonna check the history here and see if there is a something that can indicate this subtitle. Create claim. Was that just one? Yes, people just keep translating that time after time. Um, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna skip that. I think this item might need a little bit of a bigger piece of work. I'm gonna move on to something easier, or hopefully easier. Um, this already the Swedish National Space Agency. That sounds fun. Let's have a look at your portal as well as the actual government agency item. That's nice. Oh, those are two very conflicting start dates here for the agency. 1972 and 1975.
Mm.
Stated in a raw release. Oh, but this one is interesting. It's used when the actual entity started, which might be an indication of what's going on here. I do want the Wikipedia article. It should say it out straight. Oops. It says 1972.
All right.
Um, is there history as well? Um, Here it is. No, it really was. And do we even have a mention of 1975? Um, no, it's not even mentioned here. 75. Oh, interesting, interesting. Let's see, because this number seems to be imported. And this is, of course,
And
imported. Just
it says maybe it changed name at the time, and that's why someone added the 75.
it did change names a few times, but not in this particular moment.
Ah.
I think this statement here is actually quite interesting because this seems to indicate that like the legal entity was created in 1975, but I could also imagine it's one of those like cutoff dates where they like, okay, it started at least 1975, so when we digitalize the records, we just put that in.
Yeah.
Um, and because the Wikipedia article was so clear, I'm kind of yes. This would mean that the entity would just have started on the 1st of January 1975, which doesn't seem reasonable. Um, it is still interesting. Like, it would be interesting to model that, but in this scenario, it's not helpful, and it is very clearly imported. So sorry, but humans win that one. Okay, but I'm off here. I'm looking for the Open Data Portal, and I think I even opened it here. Um, this is very Swedish Parliament database. That cannot be the same as the National Space Agency, and this doesn't point to that. Yeah, here's their open data. Um, that looks all good. They don't have a lot of data. I'm a little bit disappointed, but that's a different concern. But also known as here seems to be copied from somewhere because this refers to a completely different portal. I'm gonna remove those. Those happens to be like the main parliamentary open data portal. So and it's missing a language. Was it in Swedish? No, it's actually in English. I assume it also exists in Swedish. Yes, but it's on the same URL. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily take me to. It probably depends on my browser settings. I'm not sure I want to add a language then. If it depends on what browser you're using. Or here it says this website is automatically using Google Translate. Okay, then I'm more okay with using Swedish, saying it's in Swedish. I'm gonna do that. If the rest is just translations anyway. Swedish. There we go. I would like to Okay, it's just not a lot here. I'm gonna be done with that as it is. It would be interesting to add something more, but we got plenty in here. I think this one is quite. This is the SMHI, which is really nice because they have the same letters in Swedish and in English. So the
Yes.
version is the same in both languages. Um, but they should have a lot of open data because they have all the open weather data. Descriptions. Open data from the Swedish meteorology. Uh, that I. How did that happen?
Hmm.
I don't know how that happened, but what I do know is how to fix it. Uh, Describing just the portal, and I think that looks good. Let's go. Oh, but that's also not a lot of information here. Um, among other things, it's missing the language worker name. Oh, is this really the open data portal as well? I mean, it really has the subdomain. Okay, but everything is here at the site. It's just very lean on information. Um, okay, it doesn't have that much information, but we can fix the language. And here it very much seems to be English, and they also says that it is like aimed at developers, so it kind of makes sense. Um, so language of proper name, English. You said. There we go. Okay, if they don't have much more information than that, we can live with that. Um, let's have a look actually at one of these with unknown value or something like that. So open data portal. Let's see. And where did that end up? There we go. Unknown value, one reference. Oh, this is interesting. So someone has essentially done a freedom of information request. Um, for what I assume is give us a link to your open data portal. And they got back with we don't have one. Um, it actually doesn't mention open data portal. It actually doesn't have anything to do with open data portal. Sorry, this is not relevant. That's sad. I imagine it's a similar pattern than for the Swedish ones. Another one that has a quite big open data portal is the Swedish. What could that be called nowadays? Digital Agency for Digital Government. That one I want to look at because they also exactly. Here's the interesting thing. They also run like Sweden's data portal. Um, they are responsible for that, which makes me curious. Does that cause issues that it uses both? It is open source, which is nice. It has phone number.
Not the portal, right?
I mean, I get an email. I'm gonna
Call
search
it.
the web. Call it. I'm way too scared of that, and it's a little bit late in Sweden.
Yes.
Um, I'm curious. I'm a little bit extra because there is no source. Um,
I mean, they might have a support number for it, so should the support number go in there? Maybe it should.
Maybe it should, but I think when
Yeah.
it comes to phone numbers, I pretty much want a reference. I think that's what it says here as well. But
It's
this
probably the
is
same. What?
that makes no sense.
Unless that municipality set the Swedish data portal as we have all our data there.
Yeah, it still doesn't make sense.
No.
I'm gonna
It still
bookmark
doesn't make
this for
sense.
later, but
Yes.
this is not something I'm figuring out. Phone numbers here. But it's probably something related to the fact that this is not just the government agency's data portal; it's the one for Sweden.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm also reacting a little bit on this one. Service state or information URL, and then it goes to like someone's GitHub repository, and it's not the same repository that's the agency's.
Yeah, that's not right.
I wanna.
I mean, even if that repository contains that, that's not where you're supposed to go.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
I can see here that it's the same person. You see, the GitHub URL and the username is the same here,
yeah.
which is also indication that something's going on here. Oh, this is AI generated
I think we can just remove
tracking.
that.
Yeah, this is This is, I'm gonna say it outright. This is an abusive use of Wikidata. We don't do this type of thing. That's borderline on harassment. There we go. And I can check one more. But that one is interesting. It has some of those interesting things that happens when things are just shared by different entities. Okay, let's do something that isn't Sweden. The US had a lot, and a lot of cities. I assume they are more than cities from a legal perspective, because they ended up under government agencies. But I think that's how things are structured. You know, you have what's their name? You have someone that rules the city.
The mayor?
The mayor, thank you very much. Santa Barbara County. Here's the county, however, not the city. But the item is for the city. I imagine it's for both. This might be one of those things that might need cleanup. But if we go to just the open data portal, that's interesting, because this is also like data set, and then it points to something that looks like the county at a larger data set not found. So this points to data set rather than a data portal. And it doesn't exist.
And would it have been the data set about the county rather than...
Exactly. Or was there like a data portal landing page there? Maybe. I do want to say, I do want to go to the Wayback Machine quickly. Before I'm running out of time. There, that I'm looking for.
I'm in no hurry, so you can wrap
You
up
are
in
in
your
no
own
hurry.
time. Yeah.
Oh, look, it seems like it's gone. Of course, this is probably part of like the open data purge in the US then.
Seems very much like that, yes.
The pattern here seems extremely... Okay, but that's a 404. Let's go back a little bit earlier in the administration, early 2025. Here we can see a lot more activity as well. Let's just pick one at random. No, still 404.
Ah.
Oh, did I close everything here? Let's go back one more year then. 2024. Okay, here they are blue. They got deleted then, I guess, in October 2024. I guess that's what the color means here.
Hmm. Yes, you have like a explanation underneath there.
Ah, yes, I did. Um, so let's see. Is this used for? This is an organization, and here we got some about fires, I guess. But we do have multiple data sets, it seems like, or do we? Here's just the download button. That's for metadata about it. I guess it's what we can see here. Okay, I can buy that this is some type of portal. I'm not gonna figure it out, but there are like multiple resources here.
Yes.
What we can add from this is let's see, we can add an end date. Because we know that on the 1st of October it was gone, and on the last of September it still existed.
Mm-hmm.
So we can actually read that from here. So let's do that. I think that's important to record actually. It would be super nice to even centralize this information here that can actually get data on when the portal disappear. That's super interesting. Let's see. I guess it's not end time, but it's dissolved or abolished.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the year. What did I say? 2024. Last of September, I assume.
I would
Or
say so.
probably 1st of October. But last day. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Did I get it right? I did. How would you model a source for this, Jan?
That's a good question. I would give the link to that overview page. This one is.
Yeah.
And then perhaps, is there like inferred from status or something like that?
Based on heuristic, inferred from.
Inferred from, I think.
Um,
And maybe status or URL status.
let's see what if I was right status. What does it say? Condition? Maybe?
Maybe.
Relative state or circumstances of some object or event.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. But no, okay.
Interesting. You see if we get any warnings on that. Nope.
Nope.
All right.
No, but I mean, this type of thing is mostly for editors, I would argue. So
Yeah.
I think it's fine. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't expect that. Of course, we have all heard of it, but we have a bunch of things like that in Wikidata. And with that, I'm gonna remove my screen and look at you like this.
All right. And I noticed that the peer tube that we streamed to was set to private, so people couldn't join the link. It will be available on the same link afterwards. I couldn't change it while streaming after the stream started, so that was a little bit of a bummer, but it will be there. And then I also have added a lot of things to the. I saw for the two items I created, there was like an official identifier.
Ah, that's
So
nice.
yeah, so that's very good. So that will take them to the correct register page. All
Thank you
right.
for being here.
Yeah, thank you for being here and enjoy the rest of the open data week. We plan to do a little bit more of these, but we haven't figured out a schedule or cadence for it. But
Yeah.
more than the haphazard things that we have done for a year or two now.
Yeah. We are feeling it tickling in the fingers that we want to get
Yes.
going again.
Yeah. All right. But I guess with that, we say happy editing.
Happy editing.